In 2012, the company changed to Tarakwa Dairies, and this was started off because the initial one that was started as Taragon hit a management crisis where it was not getting enough milk, and therefore it was not able to even use the equipment that it had already been set for as a cooling plant. And we came in to try and revive this self-help group.
We've seen great or tremendous improvement from an average of 800 liters being delivered by the farmers, that is in the year 2012, up to now to an average of 13,000 liters of milk being delivered. And during the peak season also, we usually call up to 25,000 liters of milk per day.
We have a pasteurizer now that is a continuous one from the one we had that was just batch. And we're able to add all these machines that you see here, the chilling machines. We're able to open more outlets to dispense our milk. And now we went also into now starting our first fermentation process where we're doing yogurts and doing mala. So we went into this grant competition with the hope that we'd be able to get and win that money to be able to put it back into our expansion of our new factory outlay that we need to do. The grant journey has been quite challenging because we know it's competitive. And as we are in our final stage, we have a lot of hope that we're pulling through. What I've learned in this process is that it's very important understanding your company, your aspiration of the company, and where you're heading, and living by always knowing what your strategic plans are and living by it, and having a self-assessment where you know where you as far as your strategic plan is. So that has taught us to be always on top and ahead on all our planning and be very meticulous, especially as far as record keeping and staying relevant and always staying focused on what our goals are.
It's a hospital that started as a small clinic almost 20 years ago, and we have grown gradually to the point where now we are regarded as a level 3A hospital. We see a lot of patients. We see them through their illnesses, and when they get well, you can actually feel it, that you have done something.
We had really wanted modern maternity. For a long time after the experience that I went through personally, I lost my second baby at birth, and it was very traumatic. So we thought to ourselves what we would do to just make things change for the would-be mothers. And because we were constrained financially, we thought this would be the thing for us. If the fund could help us set up this maternity, we would make a lot of positive changes in people's lives. The journey has been exciting, very exciting. I had a lot of butterflies, but as we went on, I got excited. After the pitch, I felt more confident. I'm very prepared to win. In the next 5 years, MediTrust will be a big facility. I'll be having a lot of mothers coming in to deliver and taking their babies home.
My word of advice to upcoming entrepreneurs is nothing comes easy. It's a long journey. You start it slow, and you watch every step of the way, and you stay focused.
You know, I was born in Taveta in a very poor family setting, and because of that, I had to work during school holidays picking mangoes for export company brokers in order to make ends meet. It is at that time that I witnessed firsthand how rural smallholder farmers are exploited in terms of pricing, and then their products are graded for the export market, and you'd find that half of the production would be left as rejects because they don't meet the required international market standards. So I just grew up saying, one day I'll create a solution for this. That is why I started Mucho Mangoes. Mucho Mangoes is a social enterprise that works with rural smallholder farmers, specifically mango and banana farmers. And we empower farmers to produce the best quality products that meet global market standards. Then we provide the farmers with a ready and reliable market for their products that is devoid of middleman exploitation. We add value through solar drying. We process byproducts like solar dried mangoes and a very nutritious family mixed porridge flour called Bambino, as well as a very nutritious banana flour. This work is making a very huge difference. In terms of the people that we are providing a ready market for their produce, they are fetching good pricing for their products. We have also created job opportunities for the youth, for the women here in Taveta.
Hii ajira kama kijana imenisaidia, nimejimudu kimaisha. Nina uwezo wa kujitegemea sasa, sitegemei wazazi.
Hii kazi nimeifanya kwa muda wa miaka 4 sasa na nimeifurahia kwa sababu naendelea kusimama na maisha yangu, naendelea kusimama na nyumba yangu.
When we get this SME Accelerator grant from Stanbic Bank and USADF, it is going to be a game changer because it is going to enable us to procure a truck, a vehicle that will enable us to be picking products from the farms, raw materials at ease. And it will also improve market penetration for us, increase revenue for our organization, which of course will in turn enable us to reach more farmers because even the supply side we have to increase. We'll have to buy more as we produce more to sell to the market that would have increased for us as a result of us procuring a truck for helping us to distribute the products across the country.
Kapumtani is a last mile delivery solution providing logistics services to online vendors selling predominantly on social media such as Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, and more recently TikTok. We realized that selling was never a problem to vendors, but providing these auxiliary services such as logistics was actually a problem. So that is how we got into the logistics business.
I use Pickup Mtaani because their prices are affordable. Secondly, they are very convenient. To use Pickup Mtaani, it's easy. Thirdly, they are very punctual. When I dispatch my packages, they are on time and they are safe.
Nimetumia Pickup Mtaani for almost 2 years. That's because packages zao zufika on time na zinakujanga in order penye zilitoka. It saves me the cost na pia time.
I think the biggest highlight to us is the business growing from 2 individuals to 24 people in a span of less than 1.5 years, and being able to know that we are making a difference in people who sell, people who are trying to earn a living online, because that is predominantly where our solution thrives best. Why did I choose to participate in the grant? It's a good opportunity to get funding that can actually be of help to facilitate the project that we're actually working on, which is building a tech solution that will actually come to solve some of the things that ourselves have been trying to solve, but also it gives us an opportunity to continue telling our story to more people, that what we've done is remarkable and it should be seen by other people and it should be supported to its full potential. We've actually pegged our own growth and scale to technology. That is our major focus, because we're actually doing a pivot to becoming more of providing logistics, but focusing on technology to actually power that. So around 90% of the funds will go into creating capacity for us to actually be able to produce a product that is market worthy and I would say world class.
Hello, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for joining us for this webinar today. This is brought to you courtesy of Stanbic Kenya Foundation and the United States Africa Development Foundation. My name is Faith Mwara and I'm going to be your moderator for this afternoon. I'm very excited. You saw the videos and you have an idea of the entrepreneurs that we are bringing your way this afternoon. So I want to let you know this 1 hour is going to be fully packed. I encourage you to sit back and get ready to learn, get ready to be inspired, get ready to be informed about the grant cohort 5 that we are now live. So we are joined by 4 entrepreneurs who will be introducing themselves later. But with us also is our partner, the US Africa Development Foundation. We are joined by Timothy Nzioka, who I want to bring on your screens now to say hello to us and also tell us a little bit more about this partnership. Over to you, Timothy, and good afternoon to you.
Thank you, Faith. Good afternoon to you and good afternoon to everyone else who is on this call this afternoon. My name is Timothy Nzioka and I work with the United States Africa Development Foundation as the Director of Program Operations for Africa. Very excited to hold this webinar just to provide additional information to prospective applicants because we are looking forward to receiving quality applications. We are here to help SMEs. This is not like a test to knock people off. It is actually a gateway that we are providing to support any interested SME for potential funding. Now, United States Africa Development Foundation, for those who do not know, is a U.S. government agency. We were set up way back in 1980 to support grassroots enterprises and SMEs across Africa, currently operating in 22 African countries. And we have our core program that is funded by US Congress. We get appropriated funds on an annual basis. But in addition to that, we also set up strategic partnerships like what we have with Stanbic. And this specific program is looking at SMEs that are not yet investment ready, and they are looking for growth. So the idea is to help those SMEs address challenges that are not making them access commercial investment, so that after the grant funding, they can be able to go to commercial investors and receive investment and grow their enterprises. The application is now live. You can find it on USADF website as well as Stanbic website. And we have provided as much information as possible. What I would only encourage those who are looking forward to applying is to pay attention to every single detail that is provided there. The application must be on the standard USADF Stanbic application form. So you cannot put in an application outside of that standard format. So if you do so, your application will not be considered. We have requested for specific information. Please read carefully any information that is asked for you to attach. You must attach, otherwise it will not meet the criteria for our funding. It's better to provide more information than less information because we receive hundreds of applications and going through them if the information requested is not found, then you are not shortlisted. If the information is found, then you are able to be progressed to the next level. So we get very many quality applications. So if you are not shortlisted, it doesn't mean that your business will not succeed. It doesn't mean that your business is not a good one. What it means is that there are other applicants who present the application better than yourself, or probably they are in whatever they are proposing to do is a good fit to the requirement and under the USADF Stanbic partnership program. So there is very little else to add other than saying that please just pay attention to all the details. Read the request for application carefully. If you need to, you can look at USADF website. You can see previous grantees who have succeeded. You have a great opportunity today to listen to some of those SMEs who applied and were successful. They are currently implementing their project. We are very proud of the work that they are doing and look forward to joining the team and growing your businesses. Here at USADF, on behalf of everyone who works with the agency, we are excited to provide support to grassroots enterprises. And that is what our president, Travis Atkins, is looking at doing. That is deepening the impact that we have, not just here in Kenya, but across the continent. So thank you so much. We'll be able to respond to questions if they arise later during the call. Back to you, Faith.
Thank you so much, Timothy, for that preamble. And I'm sure we have applicants who are on the call, and at least you learned a thing or two about the application. Make sure you pay attention to every detail. And now I want to bring to us, I'll start off with two past grantee winners, and I'm going to have a conversation with them as they tell us all the story. Let me start with all the way from Taita Taveta, Didas.
Yes, Faith, thank you so much.
Habari ya mchana. How do you say it in Swahili? Habari ya leo.
You've already said it in Swahili and you've done very well. Habari ya mchana ni nzuri, tunashukuru Mungu, tunaendelea vizuri sana. Thank you so much.
Asante sana. So in a minute, tell us about your business and what is your core business that you do?
Well, Faith, Mucho Mangoes exists to support rural small-scale farmers. We are based in Taveta. We are focused mostly on mango and banana farmers. So what we do, because we realize farmers lose about 45% of their produce due to post-harvest losses. So our work focuses on helping or supporting farmers to eliminate that waste, and also providing them with a ready and reliable market that is devoid of middleman exploitation. So what we do, we work with relevant stakeholders, including the local county government, other partners who are interested in supporting farmers. We mobilize farmers. We provide farmers with training, production support. We link farmers to inclusive and affordable agricultural finance and organic farm inputs. And then after helping farmers to produce better quality products, we then provide them with a ready and reliable market using fair trade practices by buying at good prices. Then we add value through solar drying, processing, and marketing the byproducts.
Wow, that's a handful of work that you do, and congratulations for what you are doing in Taveta. To continue with our conversation, let me also bring on your screens Kennedy in Nairobi. Good afternoon, Kennedy.
Good afternoon, Frank. How are you?
Fine, thank you. So tell us a little bit about your business and what you do.
Okay, so we in service of we are in the e-commerce industry where we provide delivery, last mile delivery solutions to online merchants. So what we do is we've created a network of local pickup points within neighborhoods, both in Nairobi, Mombasa, and now in Thika, where we do it at a very affordable rate. Probably in Kenya shillings, it's between 120 shillings to 210. So how it works is the conventional way of delivering orders is an order is once somebody has made an order online, they'll pick it, the rider or the driver will pick it up, then deliver it to the destination, the customer's destination, whether it be an office or their home. Ideally, that process is usually it's the most common one before pickup mtaani, and it's still common up to now, but it's expensive. And I'll give an example. For example, for people who know Nairobi, a delivery from the main city center in Nairobi to a place in Juja. Juja is it's on the outskirts of Nairobi's city center. That would probably cost you around 700 to 1,000 shillings on average. But if you use Pickup Mtaani, it costs you 120 shillings. So how do we do that? That's enabled through aggregation. So we have around 240 agents between Nairobi, Mombasa, and Thika, where we aggregate orders from all these locations and then send them during different schedules. So this reduces the delivery cost in some areas to over 90% of the market rate. And through our service, we've been able to serve around 30,000 vendors since September of last year. That's when we launched our new app. Yeah.
Wow, that's very incredible, Kennedy. Let me ask you. So, how long has Pickup Mtaani been in existence?
Pickup Mtaani as a business has been in existence for now 4 years, since 2020, just before COVID. Sometimes people say we are a COVID product, but we tend to we shy away from that tagline because it has some negative connotations to it. You see, at that time, it wasn't a really good period for businesses and also for individuals alike. But then again, during troubles is when sometimes you see the tenacity of individuals, so especially businesses. And at that time, I can tell you for sure, a lot of small businesses, yes, did suffer, but a lot of people persevered through. And when the pandemic eventually did subside, a lot of people did what do you call this? Pull through, because people didn't give up during that time as much as it was a really hard time, and so did we. So we have been in the logistics business for a while, but at that time we were not Pickup Mtaani. We were still calling ourselves Oki and Robert, me and my co-founder. So during COVID, it's when Pickup Mtaani started, but we had literally pre-planned starting Pickup Mtaani November of 2019. So COVID found us. We did not find COVID. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, in retrospect, you know, in as much as COVID had its challenges, I think it accelerated some of these ideas that we have. So I think it's still a good thing. But let me now bring in Didas and Mucho Mangoes. The name Mucho, where did that come from, and how long has Mucho Mangoes been in existence?
Thank you, Faith. That's a good question because it's really very interesting. When I wanted to start this business, you know, this is actually my childhood passion or dream. I was born around here where we are doing business, so not brought up by both of my parents. And because of that, I used to go when I was very young, picking and packing mangoes for export company brokers. So the idea was actually came from that particular period of time. So when I grew up and I was ready to start, I wanted to name the business the name of my mother, just in recognition of the fact that my mother, we had to reconcile with my mom for not bringing me up, and I forgave her. So I decided that I'm going to give the business the name of my mother. Then I sat down with an advisor, and they advised me that that should not be the way to go, because I should not bring my feelings into the business, and I should name the business according to what I do, the products, the customers. So I remembered that when we were starting, it was focused on the export market, and we were focused on mangoes for export. So export market, that would mean I may need to use a language that would entice the target market, which is the international market. So that is why I called the organization Mucho Mangoes, because mucho is Spanish. Mucho means many. So when we say mucho mangoes, we say many mangoes, a lot of mangoes. So that is how the name came about, Faith. Very interesting, but that's where we are coming from.
Yes, so ladies and gentlemen joining us, if there's something you have learned today, you have learned a little bit of Spanish. Mucho.
That's very
Mucho
right.
means many. And
right.
Just to let you know, if you have any questions or any comments, feel free to use our chat area. Feel free to go to the chat and type anything there. If you have any question, you can use the Q&A functionality to ask your question. As we continue with this conversation, let me ask, so Kennedy, you were in our cohort 2, one of the winners from cohort 2, and Dida's cohort 3. I'm curious to know, how did both of you get to know about this grant? And we can start with Kennedy. How did you get to know about this? And then Didas will let us know how he got to know about it.
Okay. I got to know about the grant and Stanbic program through a business associate. So I don't know if I can name him, but it was a business associate that who told us about the grant. And when we went and did some little research. We believe that this was something that we could participate in and that could have an impact in our business. So it was more or less a referral for us.
Okay, that was good and easy. Tiras, over to you. How did you get to know about this?
Thank you, Faith. First of all, we came about information about the program through the accelerator online adverts. So we just came about the information online. And then even after that, some people still shared the information without, because they saw what we were doing and what the accelerator was looking as a fit. So we first saw the information ourselves online, and then some people also shared. And that's how we got to apply.
Okay. So the power of networks, what I'm getting from both of you, the power of networks. They say your network is your net worth. So because of the people around you, you got to know about this. And I'm sure even our audience can, I'm curious to know even how you got to know about this webinar. In one way or the other, I'm sure your networks played a part. Thank you for sharing that. So, for the sake of someone who is on this call and is probably looking at applying for this grant, and even before we go to the application, how do you consider your before and after? Let me narrow it down. Kennedy, what were the challenges that you were facing that you felt that hey, this is an opportunity I've been informed about, and there's a challenge I have in my business that this grant can help. And then now that you have received the grant or continue to receive the disbursement, how has that played out for you?
Yeah, thank you for that question. So I remember just before the grant, it's when me and my co-founder and I were having this conversation about what our future looks like. And Pickup Mtaani, we've always been we've always put technology at the forefront of whatever we do, and we wouldn't be where we are right now because we deliver around 3,000 orders in a day. So it would be next to impossible for us to do it on a manual scale, or on a manual basis rather. So technology for us was key, was key for our scale. Then we also were in a situation where we were thinking about how we grow. So somebody once told us starting a business is science, but growing it is an art. So just trying to understand how we would grow the business was really important for us, because getting to start Pickup Mtaani was not easy, yes, but growing it has been the hardest thing that we've tried to do and are still trying to do. So we were at a junction where we had decided that we will not be a purely logistics company, but we will also not abandon logistics and become a purely tech-enabled company. So a hybrid company is one that we wanted to be, and a hybrid company meant that logistics will remain core part of our business between now and the future, but looking at being a SaaS provider that is providing tech to people like us, or people who don't have the money or the capability to provide to build their own tech, because people ask if we use external tech for any of our services, but we do not. All our tech has been built in-house, and I can tell you for sure there's no tech like ours outside there. If you try to do what we do, you would not succeed without tech like ours. But you see how long it took. It took us a long time. So the grant came when we heard about the grant. To us, it was a no-brainer, because we didn't have the money to actually build out the tech, because the first tech we had, we'd actually outsourced it to an individual who built our second iteration of the tech. But then again, we had decided we want to bring it back in-house and build it out from the ground up. And that meant that we need to move from one individual to a team. Right now, it's around a team of 8 tech guys within within us. So, and anybody who knows tech is really expensive to build and maintain. So fast forward to now is our tech has enabled us to do a lot of things. One is that we've been able to automate, I would say 99.9% of our services. We've been able to introduce something called pay on delivery, where we are tackling the problem of trust within the e-commerce ecosystem, where customers who do not trust a vendor and do not wish to pay before they've seen a product can be able to do that through our tech, and vendors can be able to access their money once their customers have paid. That exists within some frameworks of organizations, but within the small scale side of businesses, that never existed before. People used to rely on M-Pesa, which is still the #1 service provider, or banks like Stanbic. People pay through their Stanbic accounts to mobile money. But then again, nobody protects that money. Nobody ensures that before a product is delivered, money is not paid. So only Pickup Mtaani right now can do that for you. And maybe other players, but their ecosystems are a bit closed. Ours is open. So after the grant, we've scaled. We are now in Mombasa. We are now in Thika also. We have a database of around 33,000 vendors. We've been able to deliver over 1 million orders in our time frame that we've existed, and we have a fully fledged tech team that right now, if we wanted to scale to any country, to integrate with any payment platform, integrate with any bank, integrate any service, whether it be insurance for vendors, whether it be loans to vendors, whether whatever it is, we have a data set that nobody else has. Nobody, not banks, not e-commerce players, not even Safaricom themselves, to understand small scale players, and only technology could give us that capability.
Wow, that's, you'll agree with me, that's incredible. And the confidence, there's no tech like ours, you know? And I remember something, Kennedy, I think the earlier days you said you averaged about 17 deliveries a day. How many deliveries are you doing today a day on average?
Okay, the first day we did 27 orders when we launched. Nowadays, today we do 3,000 orders in a day.
3,000 orders from 27 orders a day. Inspiring. Over to you, Didas. The before the grant and after. So before the grant, what were your challenges and how have you been able to resolve this through the grant?
Thank you so much, Faith. I must say that before this grant, there was some kind of confusion in our business. You know, the business was doing well in some areas. Then in some areas, we were really lacking. And we were experiencing a lot of challenges. One, in the area of building the capacity of our suppliers, the farmers, we had really invested in that. We have quite a good number of farmers. We have trained them, we have supported them. So the supply side was very well, functioning very well. And then in terms of the production, we had also started doing the production very well. Small production capacity, but at least we are producing. But in terms of distribution, product distribution, we had challenges because we did not have our own vehicle to help us to distribute the final products. We also relied on hired vehicles for us to source the raw materials from the farmers. So the challenge would be sometimes due to local demand of the transportation vehicles, the cost of hiring a van would increase abruptly. So it becomes a big cost to the business. Then the other thing, sometimes also due to local demand, you would need to hire a vehicle to transport produce from the farmers, but due to local demand, there's no vehicle for you to hire because they have already been taken up. So you end up having products that you have already ordered the farmers to harvest for you. They have harvested, they are waiting for you to go and pick and pay them, but you don't have a vehicle. So it was really a challenge. And because also we did not have a vehicle, distribution was a problem. So we were just distributing the products just where we are based. We could not take the products outside of Taveta town because there was no vehicle. But now, thanks to this program, and this is a very unique and amazing program because banks, we approached some local banks here in Taveta for them to finance us to procure a vehicle. But our bankers did not agree to finance the facility. So we actually approached 2 banks, but all of them turned us down because banks normally want you when you're doing very well, when you don't have any challenges. That's where they want to come in. But with this program, it is different because where you have these challenges that are making you maybe not to have revenues that to sustain the organization, or if you have any other challenge, that is where they want to come in and help so that they help you to be investment ready. And that is what I liked about this program, because we explained very clearly the progress we have made, the challenges we're experiencing, and the solution to those challenges. And the program came in, they supported us. We have procured a vehicle. We have also procured a ribbon flour mixer for mixing the flours uniformly so that consistently you will get the same quality and content of our porridge flours. And here we are. After procuring the vehicle, within the first 3 months of starting using the vehicle, our income actually increased like 5-fold, and it's been increasing. And we have already started even creating some jobs because see the vehicle driver, and soon we'll be hiring some marketing assistants to also now help us to increase our revenues even further. So the impact is tremendous, and we are really so grateful for this program, for giving us the opportunity and for actually believing in us and for partnering with us. We are on our way to greater and greater impact. Thank you so much.
Wow, wow. Thank you for being an honest man. You actually said that before the business was not organized. Now there's some sort of organization. Now, I'm curious, for the sake of the person who has come across this application, the application is about 10 pages long. I'm curious, honest man, how long did it take you to fill that application? And what was your challenge? Did you encounter any challenge before you submitted just that application bit?
Faith, actually the application bit is not complicated. It's not complicated, and it will really depend on the person applying. It may take a different time frame for different applicants, but I would advise the applicants to really take their time. Because one thing I would say also to encourage the participants is that this was actually not my first time applying. I had applied earlier and I was not successful, but I have a spirit of never say die. So we reapplied, but we looked at how the application is structured, and we made sure that we articulate our problem very clearly, that it will be understood. That is the most important thing. Whether you take it, we do it within 1 day, whether you do it through maybe 1 week, but make sure that you articulate the problem you want solved that is hindering your organizational growth and impact. That is the most important thing. And then you articulate also the solution that you think and believe, if these partners come in and help us to solve this, then it will actually take your organization to the next level and increase your impact. That's the most important thing. So the application bit for me was not confusing. It was easy to understand. It was simple, but I actually made sure that we are taking our time to fill the right thing so that the people reading from the other end would understand the problem, the challenge we are going through, would understand what we are proposing as a solution, and would think that we are also fit for them as a partner. That's the most important thing. Thank you so much.
Awesome. So articulate your problem and your solution. Back to Timothy's word, that pay attention to every detail, because actually the application asks you for the problem, and the application asks you what will this solve. So thank you for that. Kennedy, one of the things, so after the application, we do the shortlisting. And after the shortlisting, you are invited to pitch in front of judges. How was that to you? And what do you think you did well? That, you know, what stood out for you during that time, that it was no surprise that you became one of our winners in cohort 2?
I think one thing that I can say is, and it speaks true for Pickup Mtaani as a whole, is that one of the judges even knew about Pickup Mtaani before. One of the judges was even a customer of Pickup Mtaani even before we went there, and they were proud to see us. That's just a by the way, but to what made it wholesome is that you get the opportunity probably to speak for the future, and not focusing on what is now, or rather what could be. And I guess that is what the grant is literally looking at. You might be at, as leaders were saying, they are not doing so well currently, but the vehicle, what the vehicle has done, what the flour improving machine has done for the business, that was speaking about the future. Same to us. We had a tech, yes, that was there, but it wasn't as good as it is right now. So being in front of the judges, the most important thing is make sure you tell the truth. Don't lie. Don't try and overpromise something that you know personally you could not fulfill. It's good to be ambitious, obviously, but it's also good to be grounded and truthful to whatever ability you can be able to achieve. So if you say you present that to the judges, and because just you appearing in front of them, that's an achievement in itself, because you've already gone through a selection process to even appear in front of the judges. So you are far much ahead than the rest of the applicants. So when you are there, it's just be calm, be able to just articulate the future. As leaders is saying, articulate the problem really well, and then present the solution. Solution, there's no bad solution, there's no good solution, but the solution just has to show a level of impact that it can have within the problem that you are setting out for. And the problem for us, I think the challenge, I would say, was trying to, so you see, with other applicants, there was a social element to attach to it. You see, even with did as a business, it's a really good enterprise that you can attach social impact to it. Ours was more or less profit based businesses, online businesses, where you have to bring out the social impact of it. It's not so obvious, but you have to bring it out as much as possible. And to us, we saw that online businesses are being run by young people, especially women. 95% of our customers are between the ages of 20 to 30, and I would say 90% are women. I rarely see men selling online successfully. So women know their stuff selling online. So to us, that was the impact that we had to understand. Oh, the impact that we were trying to create is, if our solution has worked for 10,000 women, if we improve it, it could work for 30,000 women, 50,000 women, 100,000 women. So bringing out that impact for us was a challenge, but we stayed true to what the message was about. It was about improving social commerce for businesses.
Awesome. So stay true to the core of your business and understand your business. Thank you to those who are posting questions. I've seen the 2 questions that have come in. And the first question, I will give it to Didas, and then Timothy, if you can prepare to get back on the screen. I think the second question, you will be in a better place to respond to it. So Didas, there's a gentleman called Kevin Andere, and he's very impressed with the minds here. Now Mucho Mangoes. So Mucho, Kevin is M-U-C-H-O. Mucho Mangoes, how can you advise an agripreneur who wants to have mucho vegetables, mucho veggies? What would your advice to them be?
My advice to them is that it's great to have mucho veggies, mucho vegetables, a lot of vegetables. They are very healthy for all of us. Everyone needs them. The most important thing, however, will be if those vegetables and doing what he's doing or what he plans to do is what he's passionate about. That is the most important thing. And what is passion? Passion means this is something that I would do even for free without being paid. I would not mind if the revenues are high or low. If the sun comes or if the rains come, whatever the case, I'll be happy doing what I am doing. That is the most important thing in business. Don't get into business because someone else is doing it and they are happy, or someone else is doing and they are making good profits. Get into that business, getting into providing a solution in an area because that is the area you are most passionate about. You are happy doing it even for free, but you are surprised that it is bringing some income anyway. That is the most important aspect.
Passion. You can even see the passion in Didas as he brings that point. Thank you so much for that. So Timothy, I think these two questions will tie in. So someone asked, is there a limit to how many times one can apply after unsuccessful application process? And do we have any thematic areas for this application? So if someone is not successful, is there a number of times that they have a limit?
Yeah, so thank you, Faith. There is no limit. You can apply as many times as you can. If you are unsuccessful, that should be a learning process. You need to be sitting back and asking yourself, why do I think I was not successful? That way, then you can improve on your next application. So you can continue trying. Hopefully, if you have failed the first time, you make the second application. We are hopeful that you will succeed because, as I said, we are gateway for success. We are not here to fail people. We like to see as many entrepreneurs supported because we go for impact first. You can look at Stanbic is a commercial bank, but they are putting money to support SMEs. That money does not give them immediate returns in terms of return on capital. USADF is deploying its grant capital perpetually. We don't get anything in return. So you would be asking yourself, why are we doing it? We are doing it because we care about the development of this continent. We care that people are able to sustainably empower themselves. And the only way they can do so is building thriving and sustainable enterprises. And that's what we look for. So we are here to help you. In terms of the second question, thematic areas, this is mainly it is a very open call. So any entrepreneur, if you are doing legal business, be it in agri-business, be it in tech business, whatever you are doing. But one of the key things that we look at is what is the impact that you are causing? Not just you making profit for yourselves, but are you making impact within the society? Are you creating jobs? Are you buying produce from smallholder producers? Are you streamlining supply chains? What is it that your business is contributing to the society? That is a critical element. So if you bring it out, I think that is a consideration. But let me also say carefully that the process of selecting the final winners is a very rigorous process. It starts with the application. Your application is the first screening point. So if it is high quality application, then you stand a big chance of being moved to the next level. The next level, of course, is looking at whether you have actually met the threshold in terms of the things that we have listed. Then, of course, there is the element of due diligence. We will visit your premises. We will come down. We will sit down. We will evaluate your documents. We will ask questions. We'll talk to your staff. We'll talk to your board members. We'll look at your spreadsheets. I mean, we turn the business upside down just to make sure that we are dealing with a real business, not a briefcase business. And all these things will enable us determine who is the best fit for the limited finances that we have. I think I've addressed the two questions. Back to you, Faith.
Yes. Yes, you have, and thank you very much, Timothy. I see the questions are trickling in, and are also cognizant of our time. So I'm gonna just pick the ones that have come in now, and then we will be on our way to wrapping up. Kennedy, I'd like you to mention this. I know we've mentioned it in one way or the other, but Jennifer is asking, what tips or best practices can you advise an applicant who wants to increase their chances of being selected? In one way or the other, I know you highlighted this, but as a past grantee and a winner, what tips can you give someone to ensure their success in this journey?
Thanks, Faith, for that question. I think I'll echo what Dida said prior, is that you just have to have passion, because when you're answering those questions, you have to answer them to the best. They have to be honest, and if the questions are honest, the passion will show up. And also what Mr. Titus is saying, it's not a briefcase business. It's a real business. So if you are applying and you're a real business, just tell the truth. Say, I have a shop. We sell vegetables. I have a small factory. We produce mango juice. I have a small factory. We process bananas. I am a delivery business. I just be honest, and then try to also understand the numbers within your organization, what they mean. You don't have to be an expert, but just know the basics of profit and loss, balance sheet. If you don't keep proper records, just make sure you keep some sort of records that if the business is asked upon, those records can be produced and some information can be deduced from that. So I think don't think too much about, as Didas is saying, don't think too much. Just be as honest as possible and just give your honest answers.
Yeah, so don't complicate it. Just tell your business story. Thank you for that. Timothy, I'll combine these two because they really talk to why we have the criteria we have. Maybe in a minute you can respond to that as Didas and Kennedy prepare for a 30-second parting shot from yourselves. So Timothy, the application form says the business must be in existence for 2 years. Can less be considered, like a year and a half? And I appreciate your support. My question is, do you support businesses that are not registered as companies? So this talks to the criteria that we have, the 2 years in existence and the registration of businesses. What would you say on that?
Yeah, thank you so much, Faith. Very quick answers. You must be 2+ years. If it is less than 2 years, it's a no. You will not meet our threshold. The second question is about registration. You must be registered. If you are not registered, you cannot win. Registration, you don't need to be a private company limited by shares. You could be registered as a partnership. We will ask you to submit a copy of your registration certificate, whatever it is. So you must be registered, you must be making returns if you are required, if you are within the framework of making returns to the Kenya Revenue Authority. We work with entities that are legally operating within the space. So all those requirements, and management accounts is a must. How do we determine that you have been in existing for 2 years? You provide us with the copies of your management accounts. If they are audited, better, but it's not a must that they are audited.
Thank you, Timothy, for that. I hope it is clear. So we will have our parting shot from Kennedy and Didas. And then we are very honored to have our executive director and head of Stanbic Foundation, who will wrap up the session for us. So Kennedy and then Didas, just 30 seconds parting shots.
Didas can go first.
Oh, thank you, Okia. I really appreciate it. So, friends, for me, I'm a very faith-based person. I believe in God. Every opportunity that comes my way, I believe that has been God sent. So partners like USADF and Stanbic Bank Foundation, who have been really amazing partners for us, are God sent. God has entrusted them resources which they distribute to us. They have done that to me. They have distributed the resources to me. But I realize they did not distribute those resources to me for me. God has been using me, and that is what He's going to do, to use you to also distribute those resources to others, to create an impact in society. And that is the most important component in your application if you are going to succeed in this accelerator. You have to bring it out very clearly. What is the benefit to society? How will people benefit? How will the farmers benefit, for example? How will the consumers benefit, for example? What is the common good? What is the social good? Because social entrepreneurs are here, me and you, we are here to make the world better, to make products and services more accessible, more affordable at the people who are at the base of the pyramid. That should be the focus of your application, and I wish you all the very best. And if you do that, I believe we are going to meet at the top. Thank you so much.
Didas Mzirai, all the way from Taveta, tunashukuru sana, and thank you to you and Mucho Mangos. Kennedy, your parting shot.
Yeah, thanks so much, Faith, and everybody for joining in. And, Didas, I'll just like to echo what Didas has said, 100%. It's what Jack Ma always says, that if you become a billionaire, that's not your money. You are just a custodian for the society. So I believe that's what Didas is saying, that if money comes your way, if resources come your way, you are just but a custodian of those resources. So for you to get those resources, you have to actually present them to the world, present them, in this case, to USADF and Stanbic, that you are a good custodian. So you cannot present what is not true. You can only present what is true. So be true to yourself and the business that you're doing. So don't be afraid to fail. Even if you get the grant and you fail, that's fine. Life goes on and you've learned something. So my parting shot would be fail forward. So if something doesn't work, usikufe moyo, just do it again. And I'll echo again what Didas has said as very important. We are just but custodians of resources.
Thank you, Kia.
Yes, fail forward. I'm sure someone is learning. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. And now it gives me great joy and privilege to welcome our Executive Director and Head of Stanbic Kenya Foundation, Pauline, to give us closing remarks.
Good afternoon all. Good afternoon, potential winners of our forthcoming grant competition. A lot has been said. I did join this meeting as it was going on, so I missed a bit of the introduction, but I did get the gist of the discussion. Allow me to take, not to put on my camera because my network is very, very weak. I think from where I sit is just to wish you the best. At Stanbic, we believe that we drive Kenya's growth. I think you may have seen we are doing a lot of work currently, and we have been doing since COVID in the counties. We are in Taita Taveta, we are in Kisumu, you'll find us in Isiolo, you'll find us across Kenya, specifically working to support micro, small, and medium enterprises. We are a believer that this is the segment of the economy that drives Kenya's growth. And as an institution that believes in driving Kenya's growth, and as has been said by our past winners, and I'm really happy that they were able to join the call, we are given a platform to transform lives. So as you win and as you prepare, what are we looking for? And I'm sure Timothy has emphasized that. We are looking for the impact you will have in society. So whether you're growing the mangoes, how many women are you, how many farmers are you supporting? If you're doing the pickup mtaani businesses, it's the latest, it's the digital, what is the impact you're having in terms of logistics? That is what is our currency. We believe if we support you, you are creating jobs. I think you may have seen us putting quite a number of our businesses that have won this competition in the press, essentially having them tell their stories. We have one gentleman we supported who collects garbage from the markets. He turns that garbage into fertilizer. When we started supporting him, he had 1,000 farmers. Now he's working with over 30,000 farmers and growing. So that's the incremental work we are looking at. For us, impact is big. So as Timothy said, that once you win, the exercise of establishing who you are is very, very important. We will come to the field. If we have to take a boat, we will take the boat like we have taken in Turkana, and some people know that. We will check that you exist. With the US government, of course, they're very big on the geolocation. I'm sure that has also been mentioned. They have to have a physical presence where you can be identified by Google. But beyond that, for us, are you changing lives? How are you changing lives? So whatever business you're in, what we are looking for is that if we support you, you'll be able to transform lives in your own ways. You'll be able to grow, and as you grow, you help the Kenyans, and as you grow, you impact lives, and that is what the mandate, or what we are called to be, stewards of the resources bestowed on us. So looking forward to the competition, looking forward to receive the applications, but most importantly, looking forward to meet the winners. It doesn't mean that if you don't win, that's the end. There are many other things that we are doing. I think you will be seeing a lot in the press. There are many other avenues we have to be able to touch businesses, specifically small and micro enterprises. So you do look out on our website, on our social media handles, and you'll see that we have very, very ambitious programs. We believe we can transform Kenya together. So that's it, Faith, and back to you.
Thank you so much, Pauline, and thank you to everyone for joining us. I hope this has been a very insightful hour for you. Thank you to our partner, USADF, and by extension, CSAM, who supports us in technical assistance. They've been on this call today. Thank you very much. USADF team in Kenya, as well as the US, we really appreciate your support in this. Thank you to our panelists. You'll agree with me, Kennedy and Didas have done a good job to give us a view of their businesses and even the impact from this grant. Asanteni sana for doing that. Thank you to all our attendees. We did this for you. So if you never joined, maybe this would not have been worthwhile. But I believe it has been worthwhile for you, and even learning, getting inspired, as well as getting informed. And thank you, a big thank you to a team that has been working behind the scenes to make this a possibility. You have seen the posters, you have seen the communication. So to our brand and marketing team at Stanbic, as well as the IT team that has been supporting us to make this a success, and the other team members from Stanbic Foundation, asanteni sana. It has been a great joy to moderate this session. So from me, Faith Mwara, and the entire Stanbic team, asanteni sana, and have a great evening.
Thank you.
Thank you.